welcome to the most wonderful time of the year, Oktoberfest 2020.
Might as well.
All right, good, because we're recording. Welcome back to the Project Gen X podcast. I am one of your hosts, Alan Smith, along with...
I am Big Dave.
And this episode, we are still in Oktoberfest for a little bit longer anyway. And again, you can't have a good Oktoberfest / Halloween season without talking about our favorite horror movies.
Oh, yes.
Now, we have spoken before about some of our favorite horror movies and this and that and blah blah blah. But we're gonna whittle this one down just a little bit, and we're gonna try. Well, I'm gonna whittle mine down a little bit. Dave's gonna, at least stay inside of a decade, and so
more or less,
we're gonna do our favorite 80s horror movies.
Okay, just one question before we start. Everybody who has already eaten one of the bags of candy that you bought to hand out to the trick-or-treaters, raise your hand.
I haven't.
Really?
I haven't bought any yet. For one thing, we never get trick-or-treaters over here. I mean, it's just not. Another thing, I have a fenced-in front yard.
Oh, yeah, that makes it hard.
No one's coming to my back door, okay? I mean, it's just not, especially with the dogs and everything else, it is just not happening. Plus, you're taking your life in your own hands. If you're going to walk it down the street for multiple reasons.
I'm in a great neighborhood, and we're in a trick-or-treating neighborhood.
Yeah,
and people
which I wish we did.
People come to our neighborhood to trick-or-treat, which I love.
Right.
Absolutely. I think we had 50 or 60.
Nice.
I think it's like around 50 on average, but
last year, I don't know if I told this story or not, but last year when I took my son trick-or-treating, we went over to across the bridge to Old Hickory, which, if you know the area, And the thing is they've really built that up over there in the last few years. I mean, it's nice. It's nice neighborhoods. There's sidewalks. It's just you can just go house to house to house to house to house. The first house, or not the first house he went to, but one of the first houses, like in the first row of the first block that we walked down. Yeah, we walked up to one house, and whoever lived there had put speakers in the the windows and was playing music, and we walked up and they were playing Black Sabbath, playing War Pigs, and I was like, nice. And there was a kid, she was probably like maybe 10 or 11 years old, that was just handing out candy. I was like, tell your dad he's got great taste in music. So now it could have been her mom, I don't know, but it was just one of those. It was like, man, whoever, great taste in music, because nice. Black Sabbath playing on Halloween night, perfect. So
nice. So we're talking about favorite
1980s horror movies, not into the early 90s, not into the late 70s, not into the 2000s.
Yeah, too bad. I never learned how to color within the lines really well.
I know. So I learned a long time ago not to put an actual number on how many of these we should do, as you guys probably know from listening to our songs episode, as well as any number of other episodes that we've done. But I'll be honest, I only have like 8 on mine, and I'm sure as Dave starts, spouting off some of his 300 or so, because I know he has 2 full pieces of paper full of movies.
He said paper.
I'm sure that there would be someone that was like, oh yeah, that should be on my list also. So that's why I'm kind of like, all right, I'm going to put these on here.
I'm going to follow your lead, right. And when you decide that we need to stop, I'll go 5 or 6 more, and then we'll stop.
Exactly, yeah, or 10 or 12 or whatever. So what? I'm going to let you start.
Okay.
Because you obviously have more on there than I do.
And I'm gonna start outside the lines just a hair.
Of course.
Phantasm.
Okay. What year did Phantasm actually come out? Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up here.
I'm thinking it was 78, but it never really. It was a cult classic, and it never really hit popularity.
79. So it was close.
It never really hit popularity until like the early 80s.
I'll tell you, I didn't discover Phantasm until the late 80s, because Phantasm 2 came out in 88. It's not as good as the first one.
No.
But it was one of those things where, because I was reading Fangoria magazine at the time, as well as a bunch of other stuff, they made a big deal about it. Like, You mean you're not following them on Facebook? Oh, yeah. I mean, them and Famous Monsters of Filmland, different stuff like that. I love all that stuff. But it's I follow them on Instagram more than anything, because they put out some really cool pictures. Oh, okay. But it's one of those things that, with all of that, that's how I discovered Phantasm. And then So it was in the late 80s somewhere when I discovered it, and that was such a good movie. And 2 is not bad for a sequel, but the first one is really weird.
I just rewatched Phantasm this week, and it's actually free on Vudu with commercials right now. So
nice. Is it unedited?
Yeah.
Okay. They just put commercials in.
They literally stop the film at a place where it could be a stop.
Okay.
And they play the commercial, and then they pick it up immediately where they stopped it.
Well, that's cool. I had to. That is one that I need to go back and revisit. Yeah. I know they put out a pretty cool box set a few years ago.
Yeah.
That was the ball, the silver ball, and then it opened up and had all the DVDs inside of it, But yeah, Phantasm's a good movie. It's right there on the edge,
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
All right, go ahead, give me another one.
Serpent in the Rainbow.
I thought about that one. Is that John? That's not a John Carpenter movie. No, it's Wes Craven. It's a Wes Craven movie. That's right.
Yep.
Bill Pullman.
Bill Pullman plays the main character and goes to Haiti to try to.
It's about voodoo.
It's about voodoo and zombies. Yeah. We're talking once again about the VOD.
Right.
Voodoo.
And that was because the famous tagline name, "Don't bury me, I'm not dead."
Yeah.
That whole. That is a weird movie.
I remember the commercials for this movie.
Yeah.
And that was like the tagline at the end of the commercial.
I know.
Because it shows him laying in the coffin.
Right.
And not actually talking, but you can hear his voice going, "Don't bury me, I'm not dead." And then they slide the lid over, and that's the end of the commercial.
I know.
And this thing, I was like, I got to see that.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I do remember seeing that movie and it being...
That movie left an impression on me.
I almost put that one on here, but I was like, I don't know that it fits into my have to watch,
I have to break that one out like every 3 or 4 years.
It's kind of like...
watch it.
What was the other one? Was it the Believers? Did you ever see that one?
I don't remember that one.
That one is a... Oh, no. Was it the Believers?
It's probably the other one I've got on here next to it.
What's your next one?
Jacob's Ladder.
No. Did that come out? That didn't come out in the 80s, though.
Yeah, it did.
Did it?
I'm almost sure.
I think that's a either 90 or 91 movie.
Are you sure about that?
I think so.
I think that was like a 89.
I don't know. That's a great movie, though. Jacob's Ladder, 1990. Oh, that's what I thought.
I just missed it. So I pulled a year on either side.
I know.
Of the 80s.
Now, Jacob's Ladder it would be on my list of 90s. I mean, that movie is so good and so disturbing in so many levels.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, and unfortunately they remade it last year or something.
And they really should.
And I'm just like, no, just leave some things alone. That movie is almost perfect. All right, I guess I'll jump into mine. I gotta go. I'm gonna go with Children of the Corn.
Oh, I almost put that one on my list.
I love that movie. Linda Hamilton and I forget what the dude that's in it. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I guess I could.
It's been a little while since I've seen it, but they do a really good job in that movie of making that corn ominous.
Let me tell you, as somebody who lived in Illinois for the better part of 7 years, and it was a town of like 10 or 11,000 in the middle of the biggest corn and soybean field you've ever seen in your life. You don't have to really work hard to make corn ominous at night.
Or I'm talking they do it during the day. I mean, that just,
or in the fall when it's just
just the when it's just the stalks and the husks. That I've read the short story that it's based on. We talked about it a little bit in one of our previous episodes, but I think that is one of Stephen King's better movie adaptations.
I agree.
Now, it's unfortunate that they made like 8 more of them or something, whatever.
Yeah, they should have stopped.
They should have just stopped. I know.
I've actually got the other good film adaptation of a Stephen King film.
Which one? Christine?
Christine,
yeah.
I love this book and the movie.
Christine's one of those movies that I want to love, and I just don't.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I like it.
Yeah.
I don't love it, though. Does that make sense?
I'm a big Stephen King fan, though.
Yeah, but it's just, I don't know. it's a really strong like. It's just not a love.
Gotcha.
You know, it's like,
Okay.
we could date for a while, but it would never be serious. You know, it'd be kind of one of those things.
Like I said, you have a time.
Now, practical effects.
Yeah.
The cool thing with that car putting itself back together after they shot that in reverse.
Yeah.
It's a very practical effect of that's cool the way that they did that.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I don't know. There's just something. I think it's Stephen King loves his 1950s nostalgia.
He does,
and that is square in the middle of that nostalgia. And I guess that might be part of it. I was like, I just
even though it's based in the 70s.
Yeah, but it's it's as he, he's a dorky kid. He gets this car. And,
he basically becomes possessed
by
the former owner of the car.
But it's
from the 50s.
Right. Yeah. And so he starts turning into a greaser, and all this kind of stuff.
What I really loved about the movie was the way they used the radio and the music coming out of the radio as the voice for Christine.
Right.
That was a nice touch.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Michael Bay tried that same thing with the Transformers and Bumblebee. So it's like
don't get me wrong, I love Bumblebee.
I haven't seen the movie Bumblebee, but
the movie Bumblebee.
I heard it was better.
It was better
than the rest of them.
But I'm not a big Michael Bay fan.
Yeah, I know. So yeah.
What you got?
I put Creep Show on here.
Yeah,
I know we talked about it, and we've talked, but that it really is. Oh, something that I'd said that I was wrong about.
Yeah.
We talked when we were talking about Season of the Witch.
Yeah.
And I said that John Carpenter and Hill, the producer.
I can't remember her name. Yeah.
I said that they were married. No, I was wrong about that.
Okay.
He was married to Adrienne Barbeau.
Oh, that's right.
And then they got divorced, and he remarried in early 1990 to somebody, his current wife. I can't remember, but so I was wrong about that. That was
okay. So we have a retraction.
Yeah, we have
folks.
A retraction. Hey, I don't have a problem telling when I'm wrong. I mean, it happens from time to time.
A lot.
It happens from time to time.
A lot.
And but yeah, Creep Show.
I had that.
We talked about it enough, but I wanted because it really is. It's one of those. I love it. It's cheesy as it is. I love it. It has that great Again, it's that 1950s, but it's a 1950s comic book.
Yeah.
Feel, like I said, those old Tales from the Crypt. And
what was the comic book company?
It was EC Comics.
Yes, exactly.
All that stuff, which I didn't say on that episode, but what came out because of all the federal mandates, and basically EC Comics had to quit publishing all that. What came out of EC Comics?
No.
Mad Magazine.
Really?
Yes, same publishers. So, and
that's interesting.
Mad Magazine went on for years and years and years and years. They're no longer in business, or at least they're not. I think they're still.
I think it's all online
now.
Yeah,
they're not publishing magazines any longer.
Yeah,
but Mad Magazine was a thing all through our childhood, all the way back to the '60s.
I'll be honest. I bought Mad Magazine strictly for the Spy vs. Spy.
Oh
stuff.
Yeah, Spy. That was probably one of the better things that came out of that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, what you got next?
Reanimator.
Oh, that's a good one. I should have put that one on my list too.
And what's funny is I actually discovered this as a USA Up All Night movie.
Yeah.
And then I was in the video store one night and saw it on VHS tape, and I rented it.
And you had the same thing that I did. This is not the same movie I saw.
No, it was better.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
It was absolutely better.
Wow, they really cleaned this up for USA.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is even better.
Yeah. No, Reanimator is a good one.
I like that.
There are a couple of scenes in that movie that will forever be like seared into my brain. of I might have been too young to watch this.
I don't care how old you are, you're still too young to watch this. What you have next?
That's a good. That's
most people forget about that one.
And then was it Bride of Reanimator? Was that the next
Bride
one?
of
Which is not a bad sequel.
Both of those movies scarred me for life.
Yeah, they definitely,
as a good horror movie should.
Let me look at something before I get in here, because there is another movie that I just thought of that I'm not sure when it came out.
Okay, I'm gonna look one up here too, because I'm not sure when it came out. Everybody's on their Magic Witch box for a moment.
No, that came out in the mid-90s, damn it. Okay. I was gonna put Cemetery Man on here, but that came out in like '94.
Oh, good. That one is in the 80s.
What do you got? Go ahead.
I love it because it's so cheesy. Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Okay. I have no problem with clowns.
I hate clowns.
I have no problem with...
between it... It scarred me on clowns forever.
Okay, yeah.
I cannot do clowns. I don't like clowns. But I love Killer Clowns from Outer Space because it's so cheesy.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space was Tracy Lords trying to move from porn to mainstream. And the thing is it's not, I mean, even that aside, it's not a bad, like, it's actually a pretty fun movie.
Yeah, it is a fun movie.
Now, what was really fun is that I think last year they put out Funko Pops of those clowns.
Oh, no, really?
Oh, yes. And, like, I've seen a few of them, and they look good. They look real good.
How expensive are they?
Not that expensive.
Dude,
I think they're still available.
Dude,
so.
if you see them somewhere, pick them up for me. I'd love to have them.
Okay, I'll see. But yeah, but they put all, I think it was 3 clowns or something, 3 or 4. I think it's 3 clowns they put out, and they look really good.
Dude, I'd love to have those.
So yeah, but Killer Clowns from Outer Space. That's a good one. I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
So,
what you got?
On that same note,
yeah,
Night of the Creeps. I had to put Night of the Creeps on here. Because
it's been so long since I've seen that, I don't really remember it.
It is, again, USA Up All Night movie.
Yeah.
Had Tom from Halloween 3.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
the guy who played Dr. Chillis.
Yeah, and he plays like the grizzled detective in this, you know. And it's so funny because that movie is like, it starts off, you think it's going to be a horror movie.
Yeah.
And then about halfway into it, you're like, oh, I get what they're doing here. This is a horror movie, but this is also a parody of a horror movie at the same time.
Oh, is it kind of that horror comedy
in a way
type
where it's more of it's a send up more than it's actual like comedy, where it's like they really make that his character like over the top. You know, he's like you know, he's that real like, you know, grizzled, you know, detective and blah blah blah. And like whenever the phone, you know, he like has his catchphrase. You know, whenever the phone rings or something, he'll pick it up. People are like, "Thrill me," you know, like that's his whole thing. You know, and it's like, you know, and it's one of those things. It's that type of stuff. And then of course, and come to find out, it's these alien slugs that are like reanimating corpses and all this. Or no, they're taking over people. And it's
so it's a send up of Invasion of the Body
Snatchers.
Kinda,
yeah. But it's one of those things where it's so much fun.
Which
it is so much fun.
The 50s version of that movie is better than the 70s remake of Invasion of the
really?
Body Snatchers.
You think so?
I like the 50s version.
I like the 50s version. I like the 70s version.
You know, Donald Sutherland's in that one.
I even like the early 90s version of it. It's just called Body Snatchers. That's all it's called. And that one's interesting because it takes place on a military base. Yeah. Like they changed, you know, just so it's got Moira Kelly was in it, and it's actually a pretty decent movie.
I'm sorry, I like the 50s version better.
I'm there with you. I mean, it's
since we're still going cheesy.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Chud.
I almost put that on there, but you know what? I have not seen that movie in so long that I have a hard time remembering if I really liked it or if I'm nostalgic for it. So
the practical effects of it, you could tell this thing was cheap. It was fast.
Well, you know, it's one of those. Never forget cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers. I mean, no matter what, that an acronym is just like stuck in my brain, you know, and so
what I love is around this time of year, occasionally I'll run across some dude that's wearing a Chud t-shirt.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm like, dude,
that's
awesome.
I know, and that's another one of those like that.
Yeah.
Box at the video rental place always jumped off the shelf. Yes. Always.
Well, I mean, you know, you're talking about Chud in that comic dripping sand.
Absolutely, and it's the manhole cover that's up just enough where you see the eyes coming out underneath, and that's so it's kind of like, huh? Yeah, so I get that one. That's
we have all wasted $2.99 on that weekend.
Absolutely, and watched it and loved it. You know?
Watched it a couple times that weekend.
Yeah. All right. Are we on to me or no? It's actually, that's right. You said Chud.
I said
that's
Chud.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to get back into some like real stuff here.
What stuff's real? It's
I know.
I know.
Well, I said Night of the Creeps too. You know, where we were getting into that little more of the comedy. You know, killer clowns and that and Chud. And that kind of stuff. It's like The Howling.
I almost put that on my
Love
list.
that movie.
That's a good one.
That movie, the first time you see one of the werewolves inside that house.
Yeah.
And it's that whole, the way that it's shot where it's like, they do a different take on it where they can turn into a werewolf anytime they want to.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be night, doesn't have to be a full moon.
Yeah.
And they're in the house and it's at sunset and the blinds are half open.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the way that it's framed is just, it's eerie, it's jarring.
It's almost voyeuristic.
It is. It's one of those things where it's like, oh my goodness. I mean, it is just one of those scenes in a movie.
And that movie is not exactly a werewolf movie.
No.
That's almost a full lichen.
It is.
That's a
very
lichen
much
where they
so.
have full control over their transformation.
And it's also one of those things where, like, they really play with the mythos quite a bit in there of, oh, this is, I think that is a... And the thing is, they made a bunch of sequels, and some of them good, some of them not so good, you know. But that original Howling is really good.
Yeah.
So, and then of course the way it ends.
Oh yeah.
The television.
Don't give it away.
Yeah, I'm not, but it's one of those like, wow. Okay.
There's quite a few people out there that have not seen.
Oh yeah. One. No, it's well worth going and seeing. So,
yeah.
What you got?
And I think you can rent that one on Vudu right now.
Probably.
Mine's a series.
Okay. You can do the whole series?
Yes, because I'm a big fan of the series. It's Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, and Ash versus Evil Dead.
Okay, so like you're going across many decades here.
I understand that, but the original started out in the 80s.
I know. The first two movies were in the 80s, and I think Army of Darkness either came out in 90 or 91, somewhere around in there. So it kind of... you get into Ash, and you're into the...
Oh, yeah, you're into the
20 teens, I know. Yeah. So it's...
But everything in that whole series, I mean, it starts with Evil Dead. Mm-hmm. And
I like the original Evil Dead. I know
love
the general
character Ash. I love that character.
The general consensus is that Evil Dead 2 is the best one of them. I think I like the first one better. Army of Darkness is almost its own thing. It's like it's a sequel to those two movies, but you could kind of pull it aside as this happens over here. You
don't have to watch the first two to watch Army of Darkness, but Army of Darkness falls into that horror comedy category.
And that's one of those movies my mom loves.
Really?
One of these days, I'm going to get my mom on here. We're going to talk about the movies that she loves. Okay?
That really surprises me.
No, my mom loves that movie. She loves the Tremor series.
Really?
All of them. I mean, my mom loves... like low budget horror and sci-fi stuff.
Really?
I know you would never think that, but it's just
Dude,
like
we gotta totally do an Alan's mom episode now.
My mom's pretty cool, I'll tell you. I mean, she's she's a mom, but it's funny to look at sometimes I would go and just look at her back when because she had all kinds of VHSs, and what she would rent from the video store. Sometimes I'm like, what? Why did you get this? This is something I would have rented.
No, what you should have been is like, oh, thank you. We can watch this together.
Well, no,
because my mom would have been like, you're not renting that. That's garbage.
I know. But yeah, no, my mom loves Army of Darkness. She thinks that's one of the greatest movies ever. So
plus,
I can guarantee you that she's probably never seen, or if she has, she does not like either one of the Evil Dead movies.
Oh yeah,
but she loves Army of Darkness. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, it would be fun to have your mom on the podcast just to watch her put you in your place a time or two.
My mom's too nice for that. Well, for the most part.
Okay, I'm starting to get into my mainstream stuff now.
Okay.
I've already espoused my love for, that my first two horror movies I ever saw was Creepshow. Mm-hmm. The second and Friday the 13th Part 3.
Right.
At that point, I had gone back and watched 1 and 2.
Okay.
I love
all 80s movies.
I love those first three Friday the 13th. Everything else is garbage.
4 is not bad.
I don't like it that much.
Well, but as far as there really is that you get those first 4 movies.
Yeah.
And then 5 happens. And then you get 6, which is not bad.
Yeah.
And 7, which is not bad.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, you get Jason Takes Manhattan.
But my favorite
and
three,
Jason X.
Favorite 3 out of the series are the first 3.
Okay.
The third one is got the special place in my heart because it's literally like the second one I've seen. So I love the fact that the first one has Kevin Bacon in it.
Yes. You can see him killed.
Which most people don't realize.
He gets an arrow through him.
By the way, I am 2 degrees from Kevin Bacon.
I know you've told me that before.
I love the fact that I'm 2 degrees from Kevin Bacon.
I do like the Friday the 13th movies. Mine along that same line is Nightmare on Elm Street.
See, this is what I have not mentioned. The third horror movie that I ever watched was Dream Warriors.
Okay. That's a good... I mean...
For some reason, I started out with the third movie in the series.
When those movies came out... Nightmare on Elm Street came out in 84. I can't remember when 2 and 3. They came out within a couple of years. Whatever. I wanted to see... Like I said, again, this goes back to... my mom, again, wouldn't let me watch them. Because she had watched them and she thought that I was too... I was like 10, when the first one came out, and that kind of stuff. And I've said it on here a few times, that first Nightmare on Elm Street movie is a straight-up horror movie.
Yeah, that thing's terrifying.
Yeah, it still holds up pretty well.
The second one sucks. I really don't like the second one. Because it doesn't have anything to do with the rest of the Elm Street kids.
It's taken on a life of its own with everything that we know about it since then. But the third one...
goes back to the Elm Street
It goes
kids.
Back, brings Nancy back, and her dad, and it goes through that kind of stuff, and it's great. Okay, so again, I was not allowed to see these movies,
and that's where you start getting into the wisecracking Freddy.
That's whenever Freddy really takes over as Again, was not allowed to see these movies.
Yeah.
So what happened? I wound up going to my aunt and uncle's house one weekend, and we rented all 3 of them.
That's how it happened. It wasn't aunt and uncle's, but it was like
and so I wound up watching.
We go over to a friend's house,
and the thing is my cousin, who was the same age as me, had seen all of them already.
Yeah.
Because my aunt was cooler than my mom was at that time. My dad was like, he wouldn't let me watch anything if he had his way. My mom was always the movie. She always watched all the movies and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it was one of those things. I was probably 12 maybe when I saw all these. I don't know what year did. I think Dream Warriors came out in 87, didn't it?
That's
so I would have been about 13, I guess. So it was one of those things that it was when it hit. Obviously, it had hit home video at that point. And so I wound up watching them all over the course of a night and into the next day a little bit. And but yeah, that first Nightmare on Elm Street movie is a great horror movie. Yeah. I mean, it really, really encapsulates. Wow, this is scary.
87.
Yeah, so I was about 13 when they came out.
Yeah.
And so yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street. What do you got next?
Actually, go again because I've got to check something here. Real quick.
Pumpkinhead.
I almost put that on my list.
I love that movie.
The effects in that movie are excellent.
I met... Let me pull it up here so I get the guy's name right. Back when I was, trying to be on television, we went to a con, and the guy that played Pumpkinhead, what is his name?
I don't know.
Hold on, let me pull it up here. I can't remember this because it's been a long time since.
Okay, I'm good on the next one I want to pull up.
Oh, what is his name? Tom Woodruff.
Yeah, there you go.
Who actually is in the suit? Plays Pumpkinhead. Was there, and I got to interview him. And it was funny because I was sitting there, I'm talking to him and everything. I'm like, hey, and I was like, okay, I've got one question I need to know above everything else. Because he was on a bunch of stuff like he did. It's like, what was it like working with Lance freaking Henriksen? And he stopped. He started laughing. He goes, "You have no idea how much joy it gives me that you put the freaking in there." He was like, "No." he earned that. That is, you know, I was like, well, this is a family show. I would have said something else. He's like, no, I understand. It's like, but he was really cool, you know, and he's really tall too, obviously. Of course, I'm short, so that always made for fun, you know. But yeah, no, Pumpkinhead is one of those. Pumpkinhead is a very compact movie.
Yeah.
A lot happens in a short amount of time. It's not a very long movie at all. I mean, it might be an hour and 20 minutes at the most. Maybe. But it's one of those things where it jumps on it and it goes and it goes and it gets there and it's like, oh man, that was really good. Unfortunately, they made sequels, and they're not good. Not good. But
if you're gonna watch Pumpkinhead, watch the first one.
Yep.
And stop.
Yep. Pretty much. It's got Lance Henriksen in it. I mean, come on. It's you know, Lance freaking Henriksen. You know.
Okay.
I mean,
for those of our listenership who don't know who Lance,
if you don't know who Lance Henriksen is, turn this podcast off now. Okay.
give him a taste. Come on.
He was in Aliens.
Yes.
He played. It was Ash, right?
That sounds right.
Yeah, he played the android in Aliens. He was in Man's Best Friend. He was in Near Dark.
Yes.
Okay. He was in Millennium. He played Frank Black.
Yes.
Let's see. He was in.
Which actually I've only seen like two.
He was in Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Oh, that is
he's got a small role in it, but he's in that movie.
I had forgotten
He's been in all kinds of stuff. I mean, he's one of those actors you're like, oh yeah, that guy. He's awesome in everything that he's ever in. I'm sorry. I mean, that is no ifs, ands, buts.
Really, really good character actor.
Yes. Hold on. Let me pull up some more of his stuff here. Well, he was okay. Look, he was in Aliens. He was in Aliens versus Predator.
Yeah.
Let's see, Near Dark. Let me go back. I know I brought up Man's Best Friend. Most people probably don't remember that. It's him and Ali Sheedy about the dog.
Yeah.
It's a strange movie.
Just because he's a character actor, you either know who he is and you love everything he's in, or you don't know who he is, but you look at the movie and you're like, oh, that guy.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, and he really is. Oh yeah, that guy. He was in Terminator, the original Terminator. Mm-hmm. He has a small role in it.
I had completely forgotten about that. He plays one of the cops.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, in the station.
Right.
He's one of the cops that gets killed in the station.
Right. He was one of them that Schwarzenegger says something, or he says something to him or whatever, and I'll be back.
Yeah.
And he comes back.
And he was the front desk clerk?
I don't know if he was. I don't think he was. I'd have to go back.
I don't think he was. Because it was the front desk clerk that he says, I'll be back to. I feel like he was actually the cop that was talking to Sarah Connor.
He could have been. He was in Stone Cold. You remember that one?
No, I really don't.
1991, Brian Bosworth.
Oh my! Yeah, I remember that.
He was the head of the motorcycle gang. He was the it's one of those things. He was in Aliens. He was in Aliens 3. He played Bishop, not Ash. He's Bishop.
There you go.
He plays Bishop. They remade. He was in Jennifer 8. Do you remember that movie about the serial killer?
Yeah, vaguely.
He was in Super Mario Brothers.
Okay, so for those of
Hard Target, he was in a Van Damme movie.
So for those of you who didn't know who he is, now you've got a clue.
He's one of those, again, you see him, you're like, oh yeah, that dude, and he always plays somebody you don't mess with.
Yeah,
always. Like there's no ifs, ands, buts about it. And even now at his age, he's one of those dudes is like, I still wouldn't mess. He's 70 or 80 years old now.
He's Lance freaking Henriksen.
I know. So, but yeah, Lance Henriksen. Yeah, he's great. Pumpkinhead. What's your next one?
Child's Play, 1988.
That first Child's Play movie is really good.
Yes.
I don't care for 2 or 3, but it was fun when they did the whole Bride of Chucky, and I'd see the Chucky's, but
I actually have Cult of Chucky saved on my Netflix.
I heard that was pretty good.
I haven't watched it yet, but I want to.
I heard that they really took it back to its horror, like it stopped being comedy, kind of. Because let's be honest, that's what Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky, they really became like comedy more than anything. That was
the horror comedy category.
Again, they did the same thing to him they did to Freddy Krueger.
Yeah,
where it was like, oh look, we can make action figures and dolls for kids, and it's like, you realize this was a child murderer, right?
who did a Haitian voodoo
exactly
incantation to transfer his
soul into the body
of a doll,
of a good guy's doll, which was basically my buddy is what it was.
My buddy,
I know,
my buddy. Which was a creepy doll.
And
anyway.
what was the female version of it?
I don't even remember.
Kid's sister.
Oh,
you remember
that's
that?
right. Yeah.
It was funny you say that because a few years ago for me could mean 7 or 8 years, and it kind of depend. I guess it was about 8 years ago. I think it was when I was doing the flea market. I went into a thrift store and they had a My Buddy that I bought for like $1.
Oh wow!
And now those things are worth a little bit of money, so I brought it home. My wife was like, "Get that thing out of the house now!" As soon as I came through the door, she's like, out.
Okay, I gotta tell a little bit of a story. When me and Miss Nay first started dating, she's always kind of been big into the American Girl dolls.
Oh yeah,
and all that.
One of my cousin's kids is really into them.
And she's got one, and I refer to the store as the pink store. I don't like going in, but she's big into it, and she likes getting American Girl dolls. And
right.
Well, when we
some
first,
of those things are expensive.
Oh, they're all expensive.
I know.
But when we first started dating, she had hers, and it was dressed in a little thing. And it had its own little chair, and it had its own. And all I kept thinking about every time I saw this doll was the Twilight Zone.
Oh,
episode,
Chatty Cathy.
Yeah. And I made.
Or no, it was Talking Tina. That was her name.
Talking Tina.
I'm Talking Tina, and I'm going to kill you.
And I made the mistake of telling her about that episode, and it freaked her out. Mm-hmm. And she had a Ford Ranger that had a hard tonneau top on the back with a key lock. And
she locked it in.
And she took the doll out and locked it in the back of her truck. I forget for how many months. She's still mad at me about that.
That's funny. Telly Savalas was in that episode.
That's
he
right.
played the stepdad. That
So
I'm Talking Tina, and I'm going to kill you.
So, honey, I'm sorry. Once again, let me apologize for freaking you out about your favorite American Girl doll.
All right, whatever you say, Mr. Nay. So
shut up. All right, I did Child's Play. What do you got next?
Oh, I got one that you may or may not have seen. It's called The Lady in White.
No, but I'm familiar with the concept.
It is a pretty cool and kind of freaky movie. Okay, it's one of those movies that it's got Ethan Hawke is in it, and it's got Katherine Hellman from Who's the Boss,
yes.
Mona.
Okay.
And it's a weird I don't know how to explain this. It's one of those movies where he gets locked in the school one day, overnight. And apparently there was a murder that has happened in the school at some point, and the killer comes back to try to because he's trying to get some evidence.
Okay.
And of course he's stuck in there, and it kind of is one of those things where he gets stuck in there, and the killer knows he's there, and then the movie kind of stops, and it picks up later, and there's this whole mystery of what happened between that point. And then it goes into a ghost story. It's one of those things where it's there's a lot going on in this movie, and you have to really pay attention to it because it's also very slow paced, and it builds. It's a slow burn. It's not slow paced. It's a slow burn.
Gotcha.
Is what it is.
Yeah.
And go and watch it. It's a weird I think it was an independent film, and it won awards and stuff. People are like, "Oh wow, this is a really interesting take on this genre, genres of film and stuff." But yeah, go check it out. So.
Some of those 80s movies, they were all slow burns.
Yeah,
and one that we've already talked about in a previous episode that I've also got on this list is Pet Sematary.
Yeah,
and that's
a slow burn. Yeah. I'll tell you another one. I didn't put it on my list. I almost did. It's a movie called Waxwork.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah, and it's kind of a remake of House of Wax, kind of.
Yeah, it really is.
But it's one of those things where that is a slow burn also, of some of the stuff that happens in that, you're like, what were they thinking with it? I mean, it's just odd, and, but yeah, that's an interesting one. So what's your next one? I have one more, so it's
I've got two more.
Okay.
I'll save the one that I love the most till the end. But the one that I'm going to bring up now is Candyman.
When did that come out?
In the 80s.
Did it?
I think that
is a 90s movie.
No,
I think it's 1990. I'm almost positive. You want to bet on it? I'll bet you $100 right now it came out in 1990.
I'm not going to do $100 because my wife lost her job, remember?
Yeah, I've been without a job since March, too. I can use the $100. So it's I'm almost positive it came out in 1990.
Unfortunately, they've got the remake on here.
No.
I don't want the remake. Don't be 90s. Don't be 90s.
Candyman. 1992.
Dang it.
Okay, so I said 90, but it wasn't. Yeah, it's 92. Yeah.
Okay, well, never mind.
Yeah, I thought that was a early 90s movie.
I like that movie.
I like that movie too. And you know what? The sequel is not bad either. The first one. There's I know they're remaking it.
They're remaking it. It's supposed to come out in 21.
And apparently it's got Tony Todd in it. It's something. So, and I'm like, okay, as long as you have him in it, I'll at least give it a look.
Yeah.
But that first movie is weird because it takes place in a place that you wouldn't expect it to take place.
It's an urban horror movie.
Absolutely. You know, because it's set in Chicago, the South Side, and Capri Green. You know, in the projects, you know, the housing projects there, and because it's set in an urban environment, you wouldn't think that it would be very ominous, and it's very ominous. I know we're still talking about it, even though it's not an 80s movie, but it is a good movie. It is a very good, and Tony Todd does a great job in that role. What's your other one, or you want to hold on to that one and let me?
Well, I've got one, and I've got an honorable mention that is totally not an 80s.
Okay, well, let me go. My last 80s movie, and this is, I put this on my list when we talked about our favorite 80s movies, is Poltergeist from 82. Okay,
I wanted to put that on my list, but I figured you would have
I
it.
love this movie. Like, it is one of those movies that a couple of years ago, I caught it on television. And I mean, when I say television, it was like on HBO or something.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, it wasn't like an edited.
Unedited.
Yeah, it was the original. And I had not seen the movie in a long time, and I was kind of, is this going to hold up? You know, because especially,
it holds up.
Oh, it's so good.
It holds up.
Granted, some of the special effects are a little
dated.
And it's usually the CG / it's that type of stuff, like the bigs, but all the practical effects hold up wonderfully. And we've talked about it enough times about what happened to the cast and just weird stuff. Come to find out that it was confirmed that when JoBeth what's her last name? JoBeth Williams, plays the mom. When she falls into that pool at the end, all the skeletons, some of those were real skeletons.
Whoa,
you didn't know that?
I did.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard this story.
Some of those were real skeletons that were in there. They weren't props. And
how'd they pull that off?
I don't know what the full story is, but it's one of those things that's been confirmed later. And the whole thing is that Tobe Hooper directed this film.
Yeah.
That did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and a few other things. But there's always been speculation that Steven Spielberg actually directed this film because he was the producer on it. Because it feels so much like a Spielberg film, and there's even been some talk that no, he was on set a lot, and he pretty much directed this movie, even though Tobe Hooper got the director's credit because that was as well as some others. Like I said, the older sister was killed shortly after the movie premiered. The girl that played Carol Ann wound up dying a few years later in mysterious circumstances and different stuff here and there. But it's just one of those things that, even when you get to the sequel, when they introduce the preacher, it's like it got really eerie again. Because it's like, how do you go back to this? And then I was like, okay, so there's a doomsday cult involved, and this is how this all got started, blah blah blah. And then you get, they used it was Anthrax did Among the Living. They used that character, and that the song Among the Living is about the poltergeist, so it's one of those things. It's pretty cool, it's got this long tail out on the end of it. And unfortunately, they remade it a few years ago, and it's like, no, some movies you just need to leave alone. Just let them be what they are.
Hollywood's out of ideas. They really are.
Okay, look, here's our aside, this one, okay, because I know we always get on asides here. With everything that's going on in Hollywood right now, with the, as we're recording this, Regal just shut down.
Well,
AMC has not. No, AMC has announced that they were going to stay open, but they've also said that they're not sure how much, if they have enough cash to make it to the end of the year.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Regal, the company that owns Regal, shut down, or the company that owns a bunch of Regal theaters, shut down all of their theaters indefinitely.
Yeah.
At least until next March or something like this is what they're saying. Maybe the earliest they come back is in March.
Yeah.
In some ways, I think this is a good thing, because Hollywood has gotten too full of itself as far as what they're actually producing in movies. And I say that as in,
I agree.
I think going forward, we're not going to see a bunch of remakes.
I hope not.
Anymore, because it's one of those things that they make some money, but they don't make enough money.
Yeah.
Okay? Second, I believe that you're going to see studios, rather than just going ahead and spending $150 million on movies that don't need a $150 million budget, you're going to see a lot of them pared back, and you're going to see a lot more special effects, practical special effects, than you are with CGI, which thank God, because CGI has been run amok for years now. And so, you're going to still get like a Marvel movie or a Star Wars movie or something like that.
We're definitely getting the next two movies in the Avatar series.
But those will be big budget stuff because they expect to make $500 million on those. They expect to. We'll see what happens going forward.
And sometimes,
but it's one of those things.
Not having everything you need to do something where you want to do
makes the innovation so good.
What is it? Necessity is the mother of invention.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I have seen several movies in the last decade that had $150 million budgets. And I'm sitting there going, those movies didn't need that.
Yeah.
At all. Like, they could have made a good movie for much less money.
The thing about it is that Hollywood has gotten away from good storytelling to relying exclusively on explosions and CGI.
Well, look, and I love a lot of these movies, but I never need to see another superhero movie that ends basically with some kind of beam shooting up into the sky.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, we could sit here and go through. I mean, Marvel's as bad as anybody on that.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, they are. I mean, it just. But that seems to be okay, when we get to this point, we're coming down to our final battle. There's going to be some kind of beam shooting up into the sky that we have to stop.
Yeah.
And that happens all the time.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. And I am really curious to see how innovative Hollywood gets with paring back on a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be interesting and not a complete and huge letdown. What I would love to see out of Hollywood is them actually going to independent, writers and story makers.
Remember the 90s?
Yeah.
When indie film all of a sudden became huge?
Yeah.
At least for a few years, and it's one of those things where it's like, you don't need, like, again, Clerks was made for $27,000.
If you've got a good story, and come on, folks, with the equipment that's available for the prices that are available, if you can tell a good story, you should be able to make a decent movie.
Right. And I'll tell you another thing that goes with this,
because it should be more about the story.
Right. And don't get me wrong, I like some movie stars. There are some people. There's nobody that I'm like, oh, they're in this, I'm going to definitely go see this. But that might make me give it a look somewhere down the line, But the thing that I think really is going to have to get pared back is some of these salaries.
Yeah.
That they're making. It's like, look, I like Brad Pitt as much as anybody. He's made a lot of movies that I really like.
Yeah.
He's not worth $20 million. I'm sorry. That's for a movie.
Yeah.
Okay? No one is. I mean, seriously, I think one of the best actors that's working out there still, and 20 years in, is Edward Norton.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, with the
exception of his Hulk movie, I like pretty much everything he's done.
But it's one of those things where it's like, okay, but he doesn't make $20 million a year a movie.
But what he does is he'll do a big blockbuster, and he'll use the money that he makes off of that to put out an independent
that he something that he really wants to make. I know.
He
does Johnny Depp used to be like that.
Yeah, he used to be. And now he's all Pirates of the Caribbean.
I know, and all the big budget stuff.
Don't get me wrong, I like Pirates.
It's all right, but he's in a lot of big budget stuff. Whereas for the first 15 years of his career, I mean, literally, he did a handful of movies, and that was it.
He's kind of gone Prince and Michael Jackson crazy.
Yeah, in some ways.
Yeah, he really has.
But that's kind of one of those. I think we've really gotten off on a tangent here. But
this one's your fault.
I know it is.
This one's your fault, so don't blame me.
But it is also one of those things. This is something that's been in the news lately that we would talk about on here. If we weren't in Oktoberfest, it's so much. But it is one of those things. I'm really looking forward to. Oh, something to tie this right back into it. Did you see that? Is it Blumhouse that did the last Halloween movie? They got the new ones.
You're talking about the
Halloween, the 2018.
2018 Halloween that basically erased everything in between Halloween and the new Halloween.
They announced, I think yesterday,
Halloween Kills.
That Halloween Kills is going to come out in 2021, no matter what.
Yes!
They basically said, we don't care. It's coming out in 2021.
Well, that really ties us back in because my last movie is the Halloween series.
Yeah, and I know that started in 78, but most of those movies happened in the 80s.
Yeah,
so.
And I've got a personal connection to it because of the cabin on Bowling Green and the fact that John Carpenter was the honorary degree guy at my college graduation.
Nice. So, I know that's those Halloween movies. We talked about Halloween 3.
Yeah.
And which, Pastor Dave, I don't know if you noticed, did you see the thing that he said that he would fight anybody about that movie being a good movie?
What's really funny is when it first came out, I was like, no Michael Myers, I don't want it. It's junk. I'm not going to see it. And over the years, I'm like, okay, I'll watch it. Mm-hmm. And it's really grown on me. And now I really like Halloween 3.
I know.
And I kind of wish they had done
more of those. I know.
The anthology series where it's a different story tied around Halloween each time.
Instead, we got 7 or however many it was.
Well, it's okay because now we've got one of the icon.
Right, I agree with that. So,
but what I'd like to see is Trick or Treat, which kind of picked up.
I'd love to see Trick or Treat come out.
Trick or Treat kind of picked that theme up, but instead of doing a movie for each Halloween, they did short films like that. I wish they would do one of those like every other
Trick
year.
Trick or Treat. I mean, we obviously we talked about it last
year. Go back and
watch the Trick or Treat episode, and it's funny because it's actually one of our best, like one of our most downloaded episodes.
I'm watching that.
And it's funny because like as we're sitting here, I have a Trick or Treat mug that that I got here. And the thing is this year, the especially Spirit Halloween store that Dave and I both got, they had an exclusive Funko Pop of Sam, which is awesome.
I pre-ordered mine back in July,
and I went and sweet talked one of the girls that worked up there and gave me a call whenever it was.
Props to our local Spirit Halloween store.
But it's one of those things also where they have a bunch of Sam stuff, and I've talked to a couple of the employees up there as well as just other people that were standing in line whenever I was talking to them.
Yeah.
And they're all like, I discovered this movie, a couple of years ago or this or that. Why didn't they ever make a sequel? Why didn't they ever? And I'm like, you know what? I love the fact that so many people are starting to actually learn about this movie, and they're like, no, we need more of these. This is really good. Like, I'm glad that we're getting merchandise.
Yes.
And that was also one of the things that the manager at the Spirit store told me is like, that stuff sells. She's like, as soon as we get Sam stuff in, it sells out.
Yeah.
Like we couldn't keep it in stock. And I know that from I was there the day they opened, and I sent you pictures of stuff, and I went back 2 days later, and most of it was gone. And I was like, you got to be kidding me.
I want to thank you for introducing me to that movie because that thing is so awesome.
Even though I had to remind you that you actually own a copy of it.
It got buried in my movie collection. It happens to us all.
I know. Believe me. Hey, I have a list on my phone of all my movies that I own because I can't remember what I have and what I don't. So it's
my wife is in the middle of trying to catalog all the books she owns.
Man.
And
I do the same thing with my comic books.
I'm trying not to get in her way because it's going to take her 3 or 4 years to do it.
So, but anyways, guys, that is our 8. Do you have any more? I'm sorry. I know we're ending on Halloween movies. I almost threw a Halloween movie on here
Yeah.
Just as, I mean, it would have been probably 4 maybe.
I've got like an honorable mention that was, it's solidly a 90s horror movie.
Okay.
But I love this movie. Jeepers Creepers.
First off, that's not a 90s movie.
Is that a 2000s?
Yeah, it's a 2000s movie. And I have never,
I think I've seen... You got to remember, for me, the 70s was like a decade ago.
Yeah, I think I've seen the first one.
The first one's the only one you need to watch.
I think I've seen it all the way through, even. I'm not sure. I may have only seen bits and pieces of it over time. It's just kind of one of those movies that it was on my radar.
Yeah.
But I never really... Because there was a lot of that type of stuff coming out at the time.
Yeah,
and so
I agree.
I kind of missed some of it.
That one kind of stuck with me, and I'll go back and I'll watch it occasionally.
Okay.
I enjoy it. It's an honorable mention, but
I know they made, 3 or 4
they should
of them.
have only made one.
I know. That's what they always do.
Only made one. But Halloween is my pinnacle.
Yeah. I agree. That's Michael Myers. Michael Myers started it all. You know, I mean, we've said that. It's true. He started it all, and we got Jason after that, and then we got we got Freddy, and and whoever else, Pumpkinhead, and whatever. They all came after that. Well, let's go to the slasher stuff. He started the slasher
Technically,
craze.
Norman Bates started the slasher stuff, but that mid '80s run of slasher flicks,
right? It all came on the heels of Halloween. So.
I mean, you had Halloween, you had Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Texas Chainsaw was before that,
so maybe Texas started it.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre was before that,
so maybe.
But that was an independent film,
that
played a lot of midnight showings and stuff.
Yeah.
It was kind of it really was. It was one of those that, like, people, I think it even got an X rating, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. Because it was so violent, but
I don't think I've heard that before.
Yeah. And so it was one of those things that the actual, like, what we think of as the slashers started with Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Because you had that in 78, and then in 80 we got Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Which, granted, I know it's not Jason in the first one, but it set up that entire franchise.
Yeah.
And it went on to be, and then we got Freddy in 84.
Yep.
And any number of whatever, you got Child's Play, and what was it, in 88 or whatever it was, 86, 87, 88, whatever it was, and all that stuff.
And then Candyman came after in the 90s.
And so it was one of those things that, and we had all the knockoffs. You got the Sleepaway Camps and the...
Sleepaway Camp was an obvious
Silent
knockoff.
Night, Deadly Night.
Yes.
And, and a whole bunch of that stuff. Now, I will say this about Sleepaway Camp. It definitely put its own spin on that.
Yes, it did.
Left an impression on a lot of us.
You mean more like a scar?
Yes.
More of a scar, honestly.
But yeah, that kind of stuff. And it even, resurrected some stuff. You started getting sequels to, The Exorcist and different, which I will go on record as saying, even it came out in 1990. But The Exorcist 3, which was not an Exorcist movie to begin with.
Yeah.
They kind of tacked it on, like the ending of it. They were like, oh no, this was the priest from the first one, kind of stuff. But it's a really good movie. Like it's more of a thriller than it is a paranormal.
Then later on, they had the 2 movies that were supposedly the origin story of The Exorcist.
You know what happened with that, right?
I did at one point and I've forgotten it.
They made Exorcist, or what's it called? I forget what it's called, but it was the beginning, I think is what it's called. Exorcist, the beginning, or something like that. Studio didn't like it.
Yeah.
So they brought in another director to go back and reshoot it.
Yeah. And
they still didn't like it. and people started talking about the original version, like, no, we actually enjoyed this one more. So they wound up releasing both of them.
Yeah.
It's the exact same movie.
No, it's not the exact same movie, because I actually own both of them.
I know, but they're the same movie, but it's 2 different directors doing the same thing. Yeah,
and this is going to be one of my pet projects at some point. I'm going to rip both of them off into my video editor machine, and I'm going to attempt to take the best of both of them.
There you go. I think there's already a version of that out there, if I'm not mistaken.
And make my own, because you have the person who writes the movie,
right?
You have and they have their version of the movie, and you have the person that directs the movie, and you have
the producer's version.
You
of
have
the movie.
Producer,
I know,
but the one that everybody sees is the editor's version,
right?
editors have the final say on what a movie looks and feels like.
Yeah. And sometimes that's good and sometimes it's not.
And, you know, a lot of times it's in collaboration with the producer and the director. Sometimes it's not.
Well,
look, I would like to see what I can do with it on my own take.
In that Harvey Weinstein, back, you know, before we knew what kind of a monster he was, we only thought he was a monster before we learned he really was one. It was one of those things that he was notorious for buying a movie.
Yeah.
And then when it was released to theaters, the director didn't even recognize it. He would go back and recut them.
Yeah.
I mean, he did that to a lot of movies.
And some movies he would go back and recut them so they were terrible and they would fail.
I know. And it just... anyway.
This guy is a monster on multiple levels.
I agree with that. So, anyways, and on that note, we're going to say adieu for this episode. We still have one more episode left.
One more episode.
For our Oktoberfest 2020.
Oktoberfest.
Dave loves doing that. Anyway, so we are going to do our Halloween watch list.
We get 12 hours.
And I am making sure mine is going to be, and I want your list up front so I can make sure it's 12 hours, and that's only 12 hours.
I am actually going to make a concerted effort.
Okay.
To put together a solid 12-hour watch list.
In our watch list, basically what we're saying is starting at noon.
Yep.
On October 31st, you start watching whatever our first thing is, and it ends. I'll give a little extra if it ends just after midnight or something, but we're not going hours into,
like maybe 12:30
at the most.
Okay.
At the most.
Okay.
Because I have a feeling that my list is going to actually be 2 or 3 minutes past, type thing. But it's basically trying to put together if you got nothing, if you want to just stay in this Halloween and watch some stuff, you can watch all this in a 12-hour period.
Yes.
And, and get it in during Halloween, And
I will do my best, if you don't own it, I'll do my best to see if I can't find a place to stream it.
Right. And we will have this up before Halloween. It will be up on Thursday.
No, you release on Friday.
I guess it'll be up on Friday. But Halloween's on a Saturday, so it's one of those things. It'll be up in enough time to where you can go and run down some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Or you might have it, you might not. There will be also YouTube.
Tell you what, let's do this.
Okay.
Because Friday night is going to be a night to prepare for Halloween.
Okay.
And get everything ready that everybody's going to get ready.
Well, it'll go up at midnight on Friday, so you'll have all day on Friday and Saturday.
Let's go ahead and release this one special on Thursday.
On Thursday? Okay.
So people have a day to run down movies and then still have Friday to
run down the stuff and get it set up and everything. Yeah. And some of the stuff, admittedly, it might be available on YouTube. Maybe some of mine will, I know for a fact, because I've already looked. And so it's one of those things that, you could go over there and watch it, or or if you have the DVDs or the VHS of it or whatever,
Yeah.
So, but I'll say there's going to be stuff on my list that will be family friendly.
There'll be some stuff on mine.
There will be some stuff that
I will probably
start out. I will progress it from this is okay up to this is after the kids go to bed.
Yeah. Well, because I don't have kids.
Yeah.
Mine will start out family friendly
in
the afternoon, and it'll progress up into the harder stuff.
Absolutely. So, but yeah, I've been having fun putting mine together and getting it down to minutes and seconds of how much time do I have left? How much time do I have left? This will go in here. This will blah blah.
I haven't even started yet.
Okay, now I started mine a week and a half ago, and I'm still maneuvering to get it into my time because I really don't want to be. I legitimately don't want to be short on it, if nothing else, because it's kind of this needs to go to midnight. If it goes a little over, that's fine, but it needs to go to midnight at least. So you get it all in.
It's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to really work on it, but I've got to have time to sit down and do it.
Well, you've got some time from when we're recording this, so.
I also know what I've got coming up at work for the next couple of weeks. It's not going to be easy.
So that's something for you guys to look forward to. And again, if you look down in the notes, there's links to all of our of our social media, as well as our hub and
all the social media stuff.
Our YouTube,
Project Gen X Pod.
Again, go to our YouTube page. There'll be a link to that down there because we have a bunch of playlists. I usually put together a playlist of some sort for not every episode, but every episode that I can, whether it's movie trailers or clips from the movies or music videos or whatever it is. There's always I try to put something together there for you and you can go and subscribe and it'll tell you whenever new stuff comes up, and we also
make sure you click on that bell.
Yeah, we also put up some videos from time to time. Actually, I need to go back, but we will put some videos up at some point besides just a playlist, but it's all there. If you just click on the link that's in in our notes, it will take you directly to the playlist for this specific episode. Yeah. Like and subscribe. Not just on YouTube, but whatever it is. Tell your friends about it. Yeah.
Do some reviews on the
reviews would be awesome. That helps us so much.
And if you guys could hit the Apple Podcast site and do a review for us, that would be awesome.
Absolutely. And that's even because I don't even use the Apple. I use a different podcatcher. But it's still one of those things that Apple is still the industry standard.
Yeah.
So anywhere that you listen to us, you can do a review. Most all of them have some, but Apple is kind of Apple's kind of the industry standard of like, if you go and give likes and reviews over there, it helps us to be seen because it is the largest aggregator for all this stuff. And but even in the other ones, whether it's Podbean or Stitcher, or I use Overcast. There's also Podcast Addict, Podcast Alley. There's a whole bunch of places like that. Whatever it is that you use, if you just give us a like and a review, please. We don't beg much, but we're doing it this time. So
I ain't too proud to beg.
Yeah, well, maybe you aren't, but anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining us, and we really, really sincerely hope that you are enjoying this Halloween season as much as we are, and we will see you next time. I'm Alan Smith.
I am Big Dave.
And have a happy Halloween. Dork.
Yes.
Hey everybody, this is Alan again. After Dave and I recorded this episode, I realized that I left out two very important movies from the 80s, horror movies from the 80s that I loved. While I was doing the editing, it hit me. I was like, I really have to talk about both of these movies, at least for a minute. The first one is Stephen King's Silver Bullet, which was based on his book called Cycle of the Werewolf is the name of it. It stars Corey Haim and Gary Busey. It's really good in that, again, it takes a different approach to the werewolf mythos, and it's got that Stephen King, small town. Everything is, everything is very small town, and you really they develop a lot of these characters and give you a good sense of who everyone is, and it's one that I would highly recommend. And the other movie is a movie that is very near and dear to my heart, and that's The Monster Squad. I love that movie. It came out in 86 or 87. I think it's 87 is when it was released. And it is one of those that, it basically has the Universal monsters without actually being the Universal monsters. And what I mean by that is that you get Dracula, and you get Frankenstein's monster, and you get a werewolf, and you get a Gilman equivalent, and you get a mummy, and all this stuff. And it's, it's a great movie, kind of in the vein of the Goonies, where it's a bunch of kids that know this thing is happening, and of course the adults won't believe them, and so they have to figure out how to stop it. And it's such a good movie. And yeah, I'm sure Dave's going to listen to this and be like, what's going on here? Why are these extra? This because, to be honest, I didn't do my homework like I needed to when we did the episode initially. So anyways, guys, thank you so much again. And Silver Bullet and the Monster Squad, which I think brings my total up to a 9. So I didn't quite make it to a top 10. But go and check out all these movies that we've had on here, and we will see you very soon with the rest of Oktoberfest. Thanks.